All right, guys, happy Thursday. Taking a look in the yellow box where it says today's assignments, you are going to need your notebooks and a pencil to complete the practice problems along with me. Then you are going to complete a Google form at the end of our lesson, followed by your 15 minutes of your iReady path. So again, if you owe any iReady lessons from past days during distance learning, please go back and take care of completing them. And then make sure you email me once you have made up those lessons. Don't forget that tomorrow is Ritter Ram Day. So again, go back to that slide and you can take a picture of yourself wearing your Ritter Ram gear or blue and gold and upload it using the link that is provided in the middle of that page. Continuing with these standards where we are looking at order of operations as well as expressions. Today, we're going to continue to interpret numerical expressions without solving them, and we're going to apply that to word problem situations. So today is going to be a lot of 3 reads, really breaking down the problem and finding that expression that represents the story problem that we're looking at. So get those notebooks and pencils, flip to a nice new page. If you need to push pause on the video, go ahead and do that, and then we will get started. All right, so in this problem, it says which of the, which problem could be solved with the expression? So we have inside parentheses 5 plus 2, and then we have something being times by 3. If I were to read this, I would say the sum of 5, and 2 multiplied by 3. Or I can say the sum of 5, and 2 tripled. So we need to look through these different scenarios and find the one that wants us to add those 3 numbers first. So the one that wants us to add these 3 numbers first and then have it be multiplied by 3. So we really want to read carefully. If you need to read something more than once, please do it. And use those comprehension skills from ELA to help you with math. So taking a look at answer choice A. Sierra played pretend for 5 hours on Monday. She then played 5 hours on Tuesday. She played the same amount for 2 weeks. How many hours did she play? Well, I see that she's playing a little bit on Monday and she's playing a little bit on Tuesday, but it wouldn't make sense to add hours and days because I see weeks, because I see that the 2 is represented with weeks. And I never once see anything being tripled or multiplied by 3 in this problem. So I don't think A is going to be our best choice. So now let's read B. Alexis builds toolboxes. She built 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, and 2 at night. She did this for 3 days. How many toolboxes did she build? All right, so we know that we have Alexis and she's building. She built 5 toolboxes in the morning. And then that same day in the afternoon, she built 5 more in the afternoon. And then at night, she built 2 more. So you can see that in one day, she actually built 12 toolboxes. And she's going to do this same routine for 3 days. So when she wakes up tomorrow, she's going to build 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, 2 at night. And then when she wakes up the day after that, she's going to do that same thing again. So this one really sounds like it has a lot of the components of our expression. But before we choose it, let's keep reading. Letter C says Mandy planted 3 flowers in the morning, 2 flowers in the afternoon. She did this for 5 days. How many flowers did she plant? Well, if I think about what's happening in this problem, I know that she's planting flowers, some in the morning and some in the afternoon, and she's going to repeat that for 5 days. Well, if I'm repeating something for 5 days, my expression should have times 5 somewhere, and I don't see that here. And again, it says that she's doing 3 plus 2 every day. And again, I don't see that there. So if you were thinking B after we read it, just like me, you would be correct. All right. So let's take a look at this one. Now, when you first see this problem, you might feel overwhelmed because there's a lot going on the page. At the top, we have our situation. We have a table that is explaining or giving more information about, it looks like, money amounts. Down here, it talks about our question, and then over here is our answer choice. So sometimes before you even tackle a problem, it's really good just to identify all the different pieces of it so that way you know what you need to look for. So it says at the top, Steve has been saving his money in different places around the house. The table below shows how much money he has saved. So maybe you guys can relate to Steve, that you hide your money around your house or put it in different places. So you can see in Steve's piggy bank, there's $10. Then he found $15 in a shoebox. And then when he looked in his drawer, he found $5 more. So Steve's parents were so impressed with how much money he saved that they doubled his money. So you want to think about, what does it mean if you double something? Double means to multiply by 2. So we want to know which numerical expression shows the amount of money Steve has after his parents doubled his amount. So Steve found all of this, and then he told his parents, like, hey, I found $10 and $15 and $5 when I was cleaning up my room. And they said, you know what, Steve, good for you. We're going to double your money. So taking a look over here, I want you to push pause on the video. And in your notebooks, I want you to write down either A, B, or C. Which of these expressions matches this situation? Try rereading the problem again before you make your decision. Go ahead now, push pause, and we'll go over it when you come back. All right. Well, I know that this amount here, all of this, is what Steve found. And we know that his parents are going to be doubling all of this up here. So we have to kind of think about which of these makes sense. Well, I see in letter A, the 10 from the piggy bank, the 15 from the shoebox, and the 5 from the drawer, and I see that doubled with the times 2. But if I followed order of operations in this problem, I would actually have to do this part first. And I would get 10, and then I would have to add 10 more and get 20 and add 15 more and get 35. So when I follow order of operations, this one doesn't work because I'm only doubling the amount that he found in the drawer. Do you see that there? And Steve's parents are doubling all of this. Same thing down here. I see that, well, wait a second, the only thing that's being doubled is the drawer again. So when I look at letter choice B, I see that this piece here in the parentheses, that groups together all of these amounts. And if I added all of them first, that would be what Steve said, hey, Mom and Dad, I found $30 in my drawer, my shoebox and my piggy bank all together, and then it gets doubled. So you should have been thinking answer choice B. Again, if you have any questions on these first 2 examples, now would be a great time to send me an email so we could go over these. All right, here we go with this question here. Which problem could be solved with the expression 32 divided by the sum of 3 and 1? So let's talk about what this says here. I'm starting with 32 of something, and it needs to be fair shared. And it's going to be fair shared, believe it or not, into a total of 4, because you can see 3 plus 1 is 4. So we're looking for a situation down here that represents fair sharing. So let's take a look and read them. Letter A says, Allie builds furniture. She built 32 chairs. She sold 3 chairs and broke 1. How many chairs does she have left? Think to yourself, does this situation here talk about 32 chairs being fair shared somehow? All right, letter B. Betty has 32 students she tutors. She got 3 additional students. She then advertised and got 1 more. How many students does she have now? Again, I want you to think about, because we know that we're starting with 32 of something and it needs to be fair shared. Are there any students being fair shared in this problem? Finally, we have Greg for letter C, and it says Greg has 32 toys. He decides to split the toys evenly between him and his 3 brothers. How many toys would each boy receive? Okay, push pause on the video and reread these answer choices to yourself. When you're ready, push play and we'll go over it. All right, so you should have in your notebook put down letter choice C. So let's talk about why it's letter C. So a couple pieces of this problem is you know that we needed to start off with 32 of something. Well, here we're starting off with 32 chairs. Here we're starting off with 32 students. And here we're starting off with 32 toys. So all of these problems do have the situation starting off with 32 of something. But then I told you that we needed to fair share. Well, the chairs weren't really getting fair shared into equal groups. It looks like Allie sold some and broke 1. So there's no dividing, splitting, separating, sorting. So it can't be A. Betty has students and she gets 1 more, she gets 3 more and then she gets 1 more. So again, she's gaining students. She's not putting them into groups or anything like that. So letter C does have the 32 toys. Here's that word that we talked about during the school year when we talked about with division, we have shared, sort, separate, and split. And here, if you look where we have this 3 plus 1, that represents Greg and his 3 brothers. And you can see that right here when they say it's fair shared between him, he would be the 1, and his 3 brothers. So that's why it is answer choice C. This expression represents how the toys are going to be fair shared, those 32 toys between himself and his brother. All right. So this is going to be the last one we go over together before you head over and take your Google form. So again, you can see it says which problem could be solved, and we have the expression, the sum of 6 and 4 times 3. So remember, because we have parentheses, we need to group something together using addition and then multiply it by 3. So I'm going to read each of these choices for you, and then you're going to be asked to make your guess over which matches this expression. All right, letter A. Danielle has 6 dolls. She bought 4 additional dolls. She then went to the thrift store and tripled her collection. How many dolls does she have now? Letter B. Barry ate 3 cookies on Monday. He then ate 6 cookies on Tuesday. On Friday, he ate 4 cookies. He follows this pattern for 4 weeks. How many cookies did he eat? And letter C. Edward mowed 3 lawns in the morning and 6 lawns in the afternoon. He did this for 4 days. How many lawns did he mow? Your job is to reread answer choices A, B, and C. Identify the parts that are important in those situations to see what matches this expression here. Make your answer choice in your notebook and come back to the video when you are ready. All right, guys. So for this one, you should have selected answer choice A because you can see that the parentheses, the 6 plus 4, and we would say that as the sum of 6 and 4, that's being represented right here because Danielle has 6 dolls and gets 4 more. Well, then she decides to go to the thrift store, and where you see that times 3 is right here with the word tripled. Just like doubled means to multiply by 2, tripled means to multiply by 3. So you can see that this is here matches up with this piece and this matches here. In letter B, it can't be this one because Barry ate 3 cookies, then he ate 6, then he ate 4. So in this case, they're adding all of these numbers, and then he does that for 4 weeks straight. That's a lot of cookies. Down here, Edward mows 3 lawns, mows 6 more lawns, and then he does that for 4 days. So this one here would actually be the sum of 6 and 3 times 4. So you can see why this one also is not a match. All right, guys, this completes my mini lesson for today. Again, please email me if you have any questions. If not, you're going to head over to complete your Google form as well as complete your iReady minutes for today. Again, if you have any ode work, please go ahead and work on that, especially your iReady lessons, and please email me when you complete those iReady lessons. Have a great day, guys.